We're very lucky to have, all the way from Broadstairs. He sailed here on his yacht. It's Nick Goodall.
Good evening. And welcome to my latest gig in my Misreading the Audience tour 2024. I thought what I might do this evening would be my greatest hits of the year. I looked at the stats of the poetry I put on Facebook and I thought I'll pick the top 12 and read them to you. And then I looked at them and I thought I don't like any of these. So I just randomly picked a selection, hoping that I achieve every poet's goal, which is you write one line that somebody goes, oh, I like that. Yeah. So here we go. The first one is about, it's a true life encounter. I tell you, fuck all happens in Thanet. For recreation, you go and see a medium, hoping that amongst the people who are both gullible and optimistic enough to think that somebody who is invariably called Sharon or Tracy will connect them with their lost loved ones. That's what we do in East Kent. This is called I Knew You Were Coming. Has anyone here got a dead relative or a friend who never quite got on the mend? They're saying that they've something sensitive, a message that they're desperate to send. I'm with Big Dead Steve, he really won't leave. Dad loves you. Was his name Herman? Or perhaps it was Mum, any chance she was German? Are you missing a pet? Is a rock solid bet. I'm seeing a turtle, or is it a tortoise? She could have said dog, but chose Shelley on purpose. Oh wait, it's a goldfish, or perhaps it's a frog. I would be more impressed if they passed a tough test, like perhaps let me know if I've left the gas on or locked the front door. Public transport is God's gift to man and woman. This is called Don't Make Eye Contact. True story, happened in SE15. Russell in a ruffle held a raffle for some raffia. Terence in observance set the tariff for the taffeta. Alice without malice called on Bacchus with a chalice as a lovely chap named Kwame made macrame for the Jesus army. And someone christened Merrick wore his dreadlocks like Bo Derek while the rest of us on the Camberwell bus turned and looked away. Now this year, there's a big discovery. I discovered, I'd never known who my maternal grandmother was. And I struck gold. She was an artist's model. How's that for cool? This is called Grandma, I Never Knew You. Pauline Pringle, artist model, took her clothes off for a living. Now her secret is known, and those who denied her existence, not through shame, but resistance to the fact that she chose not to play the mother is plain. I'm sure she had her reasons, whatever people say, but she did wear a top hat very, very well. One of the more bizarre things that happened this year is my tumble dryer failed. I mean, that's not in itself bizarre, but it's a small knit, which is code for inbred community. So I texted the bloke who sold fridges and white goods, and he's dead. But he obviously didn't reply. So this is called Fill the Fridge. I messaged Fill the Fridge today. My tumble dryer's on its last. Washers, freezers, oven hobs, cash for discount, same day jobs, diamond geezer, cheeky sod, no time for cheapskates, frauds or snobs. Sold his shop for a quieter life, spend more time with mum and wife. Had enough of flogging strife, he smoked his roll-ups very tight. He used to say, all cod profound, something gets you in the end. He was right about that. Everybody's pilot light eventually goes out. I don't know whether you've had the misfortune to experience the counterpoint of modern life with tradition, but I was in town on Remembrance Sunday evening, and I was struck by, it's a cliche, kids today don't know, I'm not one for that kind of mawkish nonsense, but this is called On Remembrance Sunday Evening. On Remembrance Sunday evening, stout men stand as proud as they can in blue blazer jackets, weighed down with medals in the dusk, drinking beer, weighed down with memories of lads and losses, comparing war stories, denying the dimming of the day, how they're fewer in number with every more forgetful year. The wars keep on coming, and nostalgia, although numbing, does not wipe the memories like they wipe their eyes, as the boys on trikes with their disco neon lights ply their energetic trade just by Horse Guards Parade. A friend called Steve is one of those big sort of bullet-headed blokes who's like, yeah, right, need that portion. And we were standing on my stoop the other day, and well, the pair of mating butterflies that settled light on Steve, then whirled in dance, a winged romance conducted in the air. And when they left to find a place away from prying eyes, we wondered if their choice implied Steve's sleeve was their first date. This is called the Horologist. Anybody knows what a horologist is? Clockmaker. There you go. Pays to increase your word power. The watch repairer with a familiar face offered me his hands, gave me water and bright red cherries, and pointed out the lands over the seas as coloured bands. And when it was time that we let him be, he adjusted the weight of his imaginary smoking jacket, tick-tock from every clock in his garret. Precious things like these must be handled very gently, his arms sweeping broadly, not over the estuary, but over the bowl of bright red cherries. I went to a book fair where a lot of people were optimistically offering their pamphlets for consumption. You may identify with this. It's just called £10 a kilo. 1,000 books of poetry on fold-up tables, cash and carry, cheek by jowl in corduroy, earnest stories, not much joy, pamphlets, booklets, several totes, recognition lives in hope, keep it up, put in the work, in the bowels of Scottish Kirk, punter, poet, it's all bluff, far too much, yet not enough. And finally, I have less than 4% remaining. No, I don't want to talk. I would rather not do any more explaining. This is creepy. I feel stalked. I have less than 3% remaining. I still don't want to talk. There's no point in you complaining. Where do I live? Where do I work? I have less than 2% remaining. How did we ever get to this place? I mean, of all the people who could have found each other, why did this happen to you and me, the last representatives of the human race? I have less than 1% remaining. But before I go, I just want to tell you.